All right, what's up, everybody? It is always an exciting moment getting started on a brand new reaction series over on the channel today. Although I gotta say that for me it also feels a little bit double, I guess, because of course I just wrapped up Attack on Titan very recently. It was the first time I ever truly got into anime, and it was such an amazing show. You know, a super long journey that we essentially went on for almost a year. Yeah, and here we are again, you know, just starting a brand new venture all of a sudden. I always heard about Death Note, which is, of course, the show that we're going to be, you know, checking out, that if there was ever a show that could get close, if not on the same level of quality as Attack on Titan was, then this should be the one. So that's obviously what has me very excited about it, you know, to finally, check it out, because so many people recommended it to me. So I'm sure it's going to be, again, another great journey that we must, you know, that we will be going on. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it is still, obviously the memory is still lingering in my head about what we just came off of. And so I'm still thinking about that at the same time. Now, actually, you know, like speaking a little briefly about, you know, my, what I know about Death Note, what I know going into this show, you might be surprised about the fact that I actually probably know more than you might expect. The reason why is that, you know, I said that I was essentially a newcomer to anime, right? When I started Attack on Titan a year ago. And that was definitely true. It was the first time I ever truly gave anime a chance, to put it like that. There were certain shows that I watched in my childhood, if those count. So, you know, something like Pokemon or whatever, that's definitely something that I watched when I was a kid. But I'm talking about a real story-driven type of anime or whatever. I'd never really given it a chance. Apart from, and that's the thing that I guess I didn't speak about, I actually watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of Death Note a very long time ago. I don't exactly know what year that was, but it must have been either 2012 or 2013. Because, you know, I was actually in university, you know, in those years. It was, I think, my first year in university, and I had this classmate. And I'm going to give a shout out to him. He's called Ahmed. He might actually be watching this, who knows. But he was basically the weeb of the class. That's what it came down to. So he was always talking about anime, right? And I was that typical young, judgmental type of person that just didn't want to give something like anime a chance. It always looked weird to me, and you know, I'm just going to be completely honest about it, right? I've grown to become much more open-minded as I basically aged. I think that's just the thing. But you know, I mean, this guy that I'm talking about, he was my friend in school, right? And so I you know, I recommended stuff to him, and he told me, like, the one thing you definitely need to give a chance, you know, is Death Note. That's going to be the one that will totally, you know, that's going to be your perfect entry point into anime. You're going to absolutely love it and stuff, right? And here I am watching it. And again, that's the thing. It's been so long. It's been almost 10 years probably by now that I watched it, right? So I hardly remember anything. I'm pretty sure that going into the show now, it will be a very fresh experience for me, and I won't really know too much. But there's a couple things that are still left in my memory. So I know that, you know, I know what Death Note is about, I guess, being that you're going to have this main character guy. That's definitely what I still remember, who gets this, I guess he finds the book on the street maybe or something. That I feel like, again, I'm just literally mentioning what's in my head, right? The kind of picture that's still in my head. So he might find this thing on the street, and he can write names in it, right? And basically any name that he writes in it, the person will end up dying. I feel like I also recall that they die from a heart attack, although I'm not sure about that. I'd actually, thinking about it, like for some reason that's a detail that's in my head, but it would at the same time, I guess, maybe be a little bit uninteresting actually when you put it like that. If they all die the same way, you would kind of think that like it would be more creative and original to have them all die, you know, a very random, different way or something like that, right? But again, I'd like to say that I remember they all die from heart attacks somehow. I know that there's a character that chases the guy. So he was called like a letter. It might have been, it probably was L. It might have been X. It's something like that. Like there's a guy tailing him, but I think it really is like a mystery presence. Maybe it's supposed to be just a detective guy or something. I don't know, but like it's a person that we don't, at least in the first couple episodes, I'm pretty sure don't get to see. So this is essentially what I remember, and then there is one more detail that I remember. And so this is basically, perhaps it might be like the last scene that I watched of the show. So this is when a certain really weird creature showed up. And I still remember him sitting on top of a bookcase or something like that. And he's talking to the main guy and with such a creepy voice. That's kind of what I recall. And this is the point, and again, I'm not gonna make any friends by pointing this out or whatever, but this is the point that I remember. I'm just like, you know, it was actually like, it was multiple reasons that I didn't end up watching further. Like, in the first place, I wasn't really keen on even watching this. You know, it's just like I did that kind of as a service to that friend of mine because he said, like, oh, you should watch this. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance, whatever. So I can at least say that I did give it a chance, right? But I was never in the mood to watch something that long again. You know, I was already watching other series at the same time, and you always know that shows can end up being quite a commitment, right? So getting started is always the hardest part with any show. I'm pretty sure anybody can relate to that. But that was part of it. Then anime, of course, yes, I was much more judgmental, like I said, and I didn't really care too much for it, or didn't care to even get into it, I guess. Yeah, and then there was that one scene that was a little bit weird, I guess you could say, that had me just sort of be like, okay, this is sort of the excuse I can give. And at the same time, sometimes when you have these friends that will constantly rave to you about certain shows they like, it has, oddly enough, this off-putting effect. I'm not sure if anybody here will understand what I mean by that, but the more they tell you, like, oh, you have to watch this, you have to watch this, you're just like, I want to hate on it. You know what I mean? And this is kind of what I was like back at that age. Again, 10 years ago when I was just 17 years old or whatever. I've grown a lot now, I've matured, and I'm sure that I'm going to be going into this, first of all, much more open-minded, like I said, but also much more appreciative of what it actually is. Also, now that I have been getting into Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, you know, these kinds of things, yeah, I'm going to be completely down for it. Like I said, this is the thing that was most recommended to me. It's I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to be a great ride. And I think really I've said all that I needed to say. So yeah, we're going to get into these, well, for now, into the first episode, of course. Like I said, I do wonder, I guess that's still the biggest question in my mind at the moment, like how much am I going to actually vividly remember and how much will just be completely vague or maybe even feel new to me. But keep that in mind. You know, I've seen 2 or 3 episodes. I feel something like that. I wouldn't even be able to tell you how many episodes it exactly was. But maybe by that scene that I described of the guy sitting on top of the bookcase or whatever that I remembered, you might already know which episode I'm talking about. So yeah, that being said, we're going to get into it. Of course, the next 8 episodes, if you enjoy these reaction videos, the next 8 episodes will already be up over on my Patreon. That's linked on top of the description. We're going to be watching this series twice a week, just so you know. It should be replacing, actually, the Attack on Titan slot, which is Monday and Thursday. So that's when these Death Note reactions will be going up. But like I said, on Patreon, you can already basically watch my reactions to the upcoming 8 episodes. So we will be on episode 9 right now over there. Go check that out. It's linked on top of the description. I will also be putting up my full-length reactions if you want to watch the entire episodes along with me. But then for now, let's actually just find out what Death Note will be bringing us. Here we go. All right. Getting started immediately with the opening. Death Note. Very interesting horizontal logo like this. Just kind of, you know, rotating a couple letters. Okay, is the apple significant? Oh, we see him with that apple a lot. It's interesting how a lot of the characters that I see so far, yeah, I mean, this is the guy I remember, but they have like a real gothic type of design. This girl as well. Yeah, and angelic, is that the word? Very interesting. This is immediately starting very dark, isn't it? Seems like some kind of graveyard type thing. Oh, this is the character that I was talking about. Damn, I thought this character got introduced a couple episodes in. See, I definitely don't remember stuff. Shinigami Realm. Ryuk. Yeah, I remember the name. Okay, they're just kind of chilling in their realm, I guess. What is this fake Nintendo DS? Okay, he's in class. Is it just news, or could he have anything to do with that already, or? Okay, somebody else was arrested. Oh, this is a whole different case again, I guess. So he heard a lot about death on the news already. Does that mean they are like sharing the same thoughts, kind of? Okay, okay. Wow, he just sees the book sort of drop out of the sky? Right in this, like, school courtyard. It's so cool how I remember it, but I don't remember it like this. You know what I mean? I thought he found it on the street, like I said. Yeah, here we go. He doesn't buy it. Obviously. So what makes him try, you wonder? Ah. Okay, so that's just the default. Interesting. You're gonna do it though, we already know. This is where the morality comes into play. He's gonna start off by committing a good act, I guess, by calling a criminal. Oh, sorry, killing a criminal. Yeah, obviously you can already tell that like stuff is gonna go left from there. Is this live? Oh, okay, yeah, it is like a live hostage situation. You'll probably get what you wish for. Wow. Yeah, this is such a great concept, like a fascinating concept, right? Could he have felt cornered and committed suicide? Yep, heart attack. This is mom. Of course. He's just gonna kill a bully. Yeah, that will obviously make it easier to catch you. Is he gonna write down a cause of death too this time? I can see by these things happening around him so much that he's become so pessimistic. Because that's clearly a big part of his character. Oh my god. But he doesn't know their names though, does he? Or was it? Oh, was one of them the guy that he knew? Holy shit. Damn, dude just got hit by a truck. Oh, okay. So you gotta have the face in your mind. Is he like going out in the real world, maybe? How does that even work? Okay. You just have a gap there to enter the real world. That's cool though, I've always been fascinated by this type of stuff, you know? Stranger Things had that. Death Stranding has it. Just the like alternate realms and stuff. All this, like, all of the thematic stuff in this so far really speaks to your imagination. We pass? Okay, okay, okay. Oh, here he finds him, doesn't he then? Oh, maybe not. I thought the monster would be here in this room. The hell? Yep, there he is.
そのノートの落とし主、死神のリュークだ。驚いてないよ、リューク。いや、待ってたよ、リューク。
Me personally, I'd be scared shitless.
現実だと疑ってなかったが、過去にデスノートが人間界に出回った話は、たった5日でここまでやったのはお前が初めてだ。波じゃビビってここまで書けない。
Wait, did he actually do all of this in just a couple of days? Did I not get that?
僕はどうなる？魂を取られるのか？俺はお前に何もしない。
He's just here to taunt him or something. Or guide him, okay.
お前のものだ。いらなきゃ他の人間に回せ。その時はお前のデスノートに関する記憶だけ消させてもらう。
Okay, you can just give it like that?
そしてお前が死んだ時、俺がお前の名前を俺のノートに書くことになる。デスノートを使った人間が天国や地獄に行けると思うな。
What? Did he just say you can't go to Nida? So you just go to like an in-between realm, or maybe the thing that they were at, or... Yeah, maybe like the place they were at, because they've all used the Death Note before. She doesn't see it? Okay.
そのノートはもともとそれを使うことになったお前だけが俺の姿を見ることができる。いわばデスノートは人間ライトと死神リュークをつなぐ絆だ。
Light and Ryuk.
うまい。じゃあもう一つ聞くけど、なぜ僕を選んだ？
It's exactly what Rengoku said all the time.
こういうのなんて言うんだ？ジューシー。質問に
ジューシー。
選んじゃいない。俺はただノートを落としただけだ。
Okay, so it really was just completely random that he got it?
たまたまこの辺りに落ち、たまたまお前が拾った。それだけのことだ。
Well, he definitely has like an interesting personality to be getting it.
英語で説明をつけたんだぜ。なぜかって退屈だったから。
Relatable. Just fucking shit up because you're bored. Yeah, okay.
それにしても随分名前書いたな。しかし、なんでダンプにはねられたやつしか死因を書いてないんだ。すでに主だった犯罪者の名前は書き尽くし、徐々に悪人のレベルも下げてる。これが何だと言うんだ。世の中に知らしめるんだ。僕の存在を。
Yeah, okay, okay, okay. So this is obviously how he then gets followed by somebody. I guess boredom is a big theme here. Ah, okay, this is kind of filling in the gap then.
いつも思ってたことじゃないか。世の中腐っている。腐ってるやつは死んだ方がいい。
This kinda is giving me some Eren vibes. I hope that's okay for me to say. He has a strong sense of justice.
このノートを拾ったとして、この世に不必要な人間を消すことのできるやつがいるか？いるわけがない。
Maybe they would have just killed good people, I guess, in his eyes.
世の中を変えてやる。
Oh man. So this is the montage that got him to write all those names down. People in prison. I think that was just on the street. You gotta love this music. Damn. The very dramatic camera.
まずは地球の掃除と思って凶悪犯の名前を書き続けた。やがて誰も悪いことが
I'm not sure if that's how it works though.
道徳のない人間、人に迷惑をかける人間を病死や事故死で少しずつ消していく。
Interesting.
そして僕が認めた真面目で心の優しい人間だけの世界を。そんなことしたら性格悪いのお前だけになるぞ。何を言ってるんだ。僕は日本一と言ってもいいくらいの。
Yeah, he thinks of himself as so good, but
そして僕は
Ryuk has a point already though. This guy has a...
新世界の神となる。
Well, I'm not gonna be judgmental, but... This is actually great already, man. Holy shit. I loved it. That was honestly a great introduction to this, this anime already. The very first episode, you just immediately feel like you're into it. That montage at the end, that was super dramatic. The themes of this show, and I said it of course a couple times during the reaction, but they really speak to your imagination. They, it's like the ultimate fantasy, right? Like, oh, what if there was this... Like, what if this Death Note actually existed in real life and you could get a book and actually write these names down and have people die that way, right? It's so fascinating when you think about it. The same thing with the alternate universe that they talk about, this realm, the Shinigami realm or something it was called, right? Where these creatures are living and they have this direct connection to the main world. I'm not sure if I got it right. I'm not sure. Again, like... I know with Attack on Titan, I'm gonna bring that up a couple of times, and I'm sure people don't mind me actually doing that, right? But like, with Attack on Titan, I had to learn that a lot of it was gonna be about predicting things for the future, and that they were purposefully holding information back. I'm not sure if this show is gonna be like that. If I was supposed to basically get everything already in this episode, or certain things not really yet. But for example, yeah, again, one of the things I kind of asked is like, did I interpret it right that these Shinigami were basically humans themselves that used the Death Note and therefore ended up here? Because the creature Ryuk, he teased to Light, who is the main character. I'm gonna make sure that I remember these names well, but that if you use the Death Note, you will not end up in either heaven or hell. You'll just probably end up in this place where they are. So it makes the most sense that they themselves also used it in the past, right? And it's also mentioned how all of them basically had 2 of these Death Notes. So one is maybe the one that they use themselves, and then the other one is just one that they'll pass again to somebody else or something. So maybe they do that more often, but I'm not sure. The guy just mentioned being bored and therefore throwing it into the real world because he himself couldn't have seen the people that he killed being in this world. But it makes me wonder also... Again, I'm maybe going a little deep with this, but I always wonder about those details. Like, would he have not been able to go to the real world and use it there then? Does he have to have somebody else do it? Because otherwise it won't work somehow. That's what I wonder about. But again, like, just that idea of having this alternate universe connected to the real world is so cool. Yeah, the Light himself, right? That's definitely something we need to touch on. But Light has a super interesting personality with this very strong sense of justice, which I think it's interesting how Ryuk, like, I used him sort of as the reason that I didn't end up watching further in this show 10 years ago. But seeing him now, I kind of like him already. I like him maybe in some ways already more than I do Light, because Light is kind of... I like to look at myself really as quite an open-minded person nowadays, right? I'm not judgmental in the slightest. I always try to think at everything from different perspectives, right? And put myself in the shoes of people that I don't agree with a lot of the time. Light is clearly not like that. He has this super strong sense of justice in himself, and he, kind of despises the world, right? He's also super pessimistic, and again, it's understandable seeing all the crime that he sees around him, I guess. And, we ourselves got a real look at that here in this episode. But Ryu then, like Light himself was talking about, like, oh, I'm gonna create this perfect world or something, and no evil people will exist anymore. And Ryuk is like, oh, so you're gonna be the only one with the bad personality. And I just love that line, because, he points out, like, well, you're kind of... I don't know if you're really the perfect example of a good person, I guess, even though, of course, we haven't seen Light other than now killing people with his Death Note. I don't think before he had committed any crimes or something. But But, you know, then again, that can always change, just like we see now how he's technically committing crimes. You know, it's just a fascinating question, right? Like, should you even get to play God or something? You know, like, is that your right? It's something that he himself talked about too, and that he struggled with. But again, it's already so clear how this show is going to raise a lot of these moral questions, and that's what I so love exploring. And I want to know your input about it too. I'm always on a quest to find out where I stand. I can't say that I really tend to have these strong opinions already going into something like this immediately. There might be some channels that are like that are very much like, oh, what he's doing is bad, or oh, what he's doing is good. I would lean more towards that it's bad, actually, because I don't know, because it just gives me bad vibes, if that makes sense. But at the same time, of course, he is killing criminals, and I also obviously feel, you know, that criminals should be punished, but should they be punished like this, right? No, I mean, then again, who gets to make up the rules? And it's all so great. It's again just so much food for thought, and I'm still gonna get into the second episode here straight away. So I don't want to be thinking too much about that right now. I'm just gonna leave those things out there, and we're gonna have plenty, of occasions to be talking about it in the future. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Of course, I hope you all enjoyed my reaction to this first episode of Death Note. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should you enjoy these reactions, then the next 8 episodes will already be up over my Patreon, and you can check them out right now over there, linked on top of the description, of course, along with full-length reactions if you want to watch my reactions to the entire episodes. But then for now, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you back in episode 2.